I'm gonna crack this. I'm gonna crack this thing open.
You know how like advent calendars for kids, those chocolates?
Yeah. We got one.
I'm like that with pumpkin pie.
No, it's my first Marvel movie. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, you got to see a Marvel movie in theaters." So I'm like, "Okay, I'll go see Spider-Man."
Maybe they should have been in there because I have some opinions on why Georgia is in the playoffs. They should not be in the playoffs.
Oh my god!
Why should
Not
they?
you.
They just lost.
Welcome to the Beer and Sports Podcast. I'm Josh Wingate. He's Josh Kimmel. Josh Kimmel US, Josh Wingate 302. And we have a special guest, Aaron Casey. How are you doing today?
I'm not doing too bad, guys. How are you?
We're doing great. I would put say your app, but I feel like I would butcher it so much right now.
I just YO-A Ron of SIA.
There you go. But anyway, we got something big coming up here on Friday. I mean, I'm excited. As you can see, I've been flipping my hat around all kinds of times, just so people know it's a Phillies hat. But we got the Phillies Astros in the World Series. It doesn't matter. Come on.
Beer mug bat.
Yeah. So no one would have thought that the Phillies would have been in the World Series. I didn't think it. We didn't even know if we were going to make the playoffs. And somehow we Cinderella storied our way into the World Series. And then you have the Astros it was probably between the Yankees and the Astros who were going to be in the AL. And Astros made it, swept the Yankees, didn't make the Yankees feel like they belonged there. How do you feel about this World Series?
Well, I actually, unfortunately, predicted that the Astros would make it. If you catch the last podcast that I host, I actually said that the Astros would make it to the World Series.
Yeah.
But I thought the Braves would be the ones taking out the Dodgers, not the Padres taking out the Dodgers, and not the Phillies taking out the Braves. So I'm excited for Philly. I really am.
I am too.
I didn't see it. Did not see it. I'm an underdog guy. You have to be an underdog guy when you root for the Mariners. So
yeah.
I think, did you guys not clinch your playoff berth like the next day after Seattle clinched the playoff berth?
We may have. I'm not sure about that. I know we clinched it playing the Astros.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
hopefully that's good juju for us. But there's magic happening with the Phillies right now.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm excited for it. What was your thoughts on this entire playoffs? Because I think it's one of the best playoffs I've watched in a long time.
Oh, 100%. Definitely gone against all conventional wisdom. I did not, Josh, I'm sorry. Your Rays just folded like paper mache.
They couldn't hit.
I did not expect that at all. I expected them to put up a fight and even win. Did not see them losing to Cleveland. But 100% exciting. I mean, how can you not love baseball when you have these underdog teams going toe-to-toe with the best teams in baseball?
No, I definitely agree with that, and I do have something to say because I'm not a baseball fan anymore. Used to be hardcore, go to at least 20 Devil Ray games a year. Now the Rays, hardcore into it until the ownership decided they wanted to move the Rays to Montreal for half the season. That's kind of when I said, I'm done. Like, I'm
Right?
completely done. We've talked about this ad nauseum on this podcast, as I don't follow baseball. The only baseball game I watched this year was the longest baseball game in the playoffs, apparently. I don't know. But that's not like me. Like, I was in it in 08, right? David Price, James Shields. Like,
Right.
I was in it, and I was in it way before that. Toby Halls and the Aubrey Huffs. Like, I was a big guy for the Rays. Now, as someone who doesn't watch baseball, is the stigma of the Houston Astros cheating still there, or have we moved on?
God, it depends upon who you talk to. If you talk to my son, the stigma is still there. If you talk to me, nah, I think it's gone because the bulk of that team is no longer there. Yes, Jose Altuve is still there, and he was a main perpetrator in that. But his performance has diminished. When you aren't getting signs, when you aren't getting tipped off, your batting average suffers, and it is his batting average is proof that he has suffered. His playoff performance was absolutely horrendous up until Game 4 against the Yankees. Whereas he didn't get a hit, didn't get on base against the Mariners. He didn't get a hit or on base until Game 3 or Game 4 against the Yankees. So he was horrendous. And when you look at that, you can tell, yeah, there was definitely some cheating going on, but there's not any possible way now. And I will say, though, cheating has been part of the game for ages. You work to steal signs. When I was coaching, yeah, it was little kids, but we knew when the pitcher was going to throw a fastball or when he was going to throw a changeup or whatever it was because of how they stood, because their stance. You look for those small things, and you don't use the garbage cans. If you talk to people in Los Angeles, stigma of cheating is still there. You talk to people in New York, stigma of cheating is still there. But as you talk to people in Philadelphia, I don't know that they really care.
I don't know. You might, once we get to these playoff games and Astros get there, I think you might see the fans doing some crazy stuff about them cheating. It's going to be there. I was telling Kimball a couple of episodes ago, I was there at a Barry Bonds game, and I think it was the Barry Bonds game where they were throwing syringes on the field.
Yeah.
So you're going to get something out of that Philadelphia fan
sure.
base for sure. But let's break down the teams because the World Series, I want to know because both teams have really good lineups and really good pieces within their lineups. Absolutely. Who do you think has the best offense?
Best offense. Oof.
That's probably the toughest question of the day.
Sorry, I had to let the dog in.
Oh, you're good. I had to tell my daughter good night earlier.
Consistent offense, I'd have to give it a slight edge to the Astros because it's up and down the order. Their catcher is horrendous. Their catcher is in the lineup. Maldonado is in the lineup because the dude is a great defensive catcher, but he has zero offense. But across the board, they led the majors in batting average, which anymore, good luck finding a team that can hit.
Yeah.
And they can. I like the power that Philadelphia has, though. You got, 3 big boppers that can put it out at any minute between Harper,
Schwarber, Hoskins, and Harper.
And Hoskins. And I love those 3. But I don't know that just pure hitting wise, Philadelphia can keep up with Houston.
Who do you think is the key piece to both offenses? So, in my opinion, I think Castellanos would be a big piece for Philadelphia to get this offense going, even more than what it is.
His bat definitely is a huge piece, and I think it needs to wake up a little bit. He wasn't bad.
Yeah, for sure.
He hasn't been bad so far. He just hasn't been the spark plug that I know he can be.
Yeah.
Or that he was in Cincinnati, even.
Yeah.
Huge piece, I think, for you guys. It drives me nuts to say it because it's so cliche, but Harper. Harper is I think the huge spark plug. And the record when he isn't playing shows. You know? For Houston, Yordan Alvarez. The dude can hit. It's with power. It's with going opposite field. It's with getting it in the gap. Everything he does with that at bat is potentially game winning, whether it be through the home run or a walk-off single. And I say that as a Mariner fan who suffered through 3 games of them not walking him.
I would ask who has the best fielding, but I can answer that myself. Phillies have awful fielding. I mean, Rhys Hoskins, bomb. It's just not good. That's their worst part about their entire team. So let's go to starting pitching. I think we have a conversation here with Phillies having 3 really good pitchers in the playoffs this season. What do you think?
I like both clubs starting pitching. Unfortunately, I think the starters in Houston are just slightly better. I
Yeah.
think their bullpen is slightly better. And I would give that edge, again, just, maybe 1 or 2 inning edge to Houston. They
Yeah.
are so good, so stacked. I don't know how they do it consistently, but they have. I like Nola.
Yeah.
He's got some really good stuff. And I'd put Nola up against Verlander any day. But
Yeah. And
you look at
that's
it.
what we're looking at game 1.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
And you should. You should. And unfortunately, I think Verlander is going to take it, and you're going to see a 1-0 or 2-0 game, or even a 2-1 game, just because both pitchers are that good.
Yeah, they are.
Verlander's going to win the American League Cy Young this year. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
Is Verlander 50? He's been playing for. I can't believe he still plays baseball. This is
You're
crazy to me. This is
You're right.
insane. He was washed. I was working out in Lakeland maybe about 7 years ago. Right, Regal Honda, which I used to work on cars. Right behind it is the Detroit Tigers spring field. So
Yes.
during my break, I would walk into the spring training, whatever, and
Right.
grab a couple hot dogs for lunch and watch a couple innings and go back to work. He was washed then. That was like 7 years ago.
Yeah,
I can't believe this resurgence. I maybe he wasn't washed. I thought he was.
Yeah, he's not much.
What's going on? No, I always find it funny that in baseball life, like Coco Crisp played throughout my whole middle school, high school, college, and into my adult life. Like these players last forever. I can't believe it. Is David Price still playing somewhere?
He,
No.
I don't think so.
he was with the Dodgers. I don't know if he
Is
played
he?
at all this year. I can't remember if he played this year, to be honest.
So let me ask you something. I'm forced to watch these World Series games because Josh watched the Lightning in the Stanley Cup final. So what do I need to do? What should I be looking for? Like what? Because I honestly can name 4 players from each team. Seriously.
Sure.
And I do want to get into it. So like who are these sleeper guys? Like who should, because the national broadcast, they hardly know these sleeper, like Joey Wendell over here in Tampa. They don't know who he is. They just see his stats and go, oh yeah, Joey Wendell. Who are these guys? Who's the Joey Wendell of these teams?
I'm pulling up his name because I can't remember it, even though he won the LCS MVP for Houston. And it's
Pena?
their shortstop. Pena. Pena's really good.
Yeah. Is he a
I think-
rookie?
He is a rookie, and I think
Yeah.
I think he would actually win American League Rookie of the Year if it weren't for a guy out in Seattle named Julio Rodriguez.
Yeah.
And Pena is really, really good at shortstop. Great defensive guy, and he picked up for Carlos Correa pretty well, pretty quickly. And when you can do that, that's nice. On their pitching staff, I know this sounds really stupid, but Game 2 belongs to Framber Valdez, if I'm not mistaken. Look at his pitching. He is just a machine. And I really like that. But their closer, Ryan Presley, is good as well. And I think that's another reason why I would give the edge to the Astros pitching is those 3 guys right there. Not 3, 2. Valdez and Presley. On Philadelphia, Wingate, I'm going to let you take that one, man.
I mean, one of my favorite players on Philadelphia is Bryson Stott. He just comes up clutch. He's been clutch this entire playoff season. He's a rookie as well, shortstop. He's not going to hit for average, but he makes really clutch hits. And then, I mean, do you know who JT Realmuto is?
Oh, yeah.
Probably the best catcher in baseball. Yeah. Probably the best catcher in baseball. He's a fun guy to watch. He's just watching him behind the plate is fun overall because he stops everything. There's nothing that gets by him unless it's a crazy, wild pitch. So watching him behind the plate and how he handles the pitchers is really fun as well. So if I was to say that, and then you got Jose Alvarez, I believe is his name, our setup guy, throws 100 miles an hour, 101 consistently. D'Anthony, I can't think of his name right now, but he's another setup guy for us, and he's again 100 miles an hour. Yeah, Yeah.
Dominguez.
Sir Anthony Dominguez. I said D'Anthony. That's what threw me off. Sir Anthony Dominguez. He's constantly throwing for 100, 101. So our back end guys have the speed, and I feel like that's always a fun thing to watch as well.
100%, absolutely.
So you mentioned you're a Seattle guy.
Yes.
Are you in Seattle, Washington area? Are you just a Seattle fan overall, or just the Mariners?
So I actually grew up north of Seattle. Moved out there with my dad when I was a kid because he had work, and that's where he took the family. So grew up out there. My wife and I moved back to Cheyenne, Wyoming, and that's where I'm at right now. We moved back here in 2001. So I still have my in-laws and my wife's family that live out there in that area. My brother lives in the Spokane area, so I still have some Washington connections there, but no, I'm in Wyoming. And
Gotcha.
I follow just about everything Seattle.
That's my follow-up question. The Kraken.
Yes.
Y'all stole my favorite player. He's actually, if you look at our podcast artwork, I have a Yanni Gore jersey up on the artwork that
Right.
Josh made, and I own 2 Lightning jerseys, and I have a Vasilevsky from the All-Star game, and I have a Yanni Gore jersey, the black alternates that came out a couple of years ago, the Thunder Night, whatever. I know this is not baseball, but are you excited for the Kraken this year? And can you give me Gord back? Like, that's all I want. Could you take in anyone else? I was so mad when they didn't protect him because, first off, I just got the jersey. Second off, he's my favorite player of all time.
So we have a festival here in Cheyenne called Frontier Days. It is 10 days of rodeo, concerts, and parties. And I drive rideshare for those 10 days and make really, really good money doing it. Subsequently, I told my kid, who has a personalized Kraken jersey, that if I do well, then I am buying airline tickets and game tickets to go see the Kraken somewhere. It was down to a Tampa trip or a Vegas trip. So I know.
Hold on. The Kraken play Tuesday, December 3rd. It's in my package. I have Plan C. We can go. I swear. I have them on December 3rd. On Tuesday, it's in my package. Let's go. I have the 200 level. I have an extra seat every single time. I always have an extra seat. I'm dead ass serious.
I can't tell you how much I would love to take you up on that. Unfortunately, we did buy tickets to go to Las Vegas.
I don't blame you. I want to go to Vegas too. That's a cool
We
place.
have a connection there through baseball to get some really good seats. So I wound up scoring some 2 seats there that are season ticket holder seats right up close. So I think I did okay there.
You did.
And then my wife decided, oh, you're going to Vegas. Hey, I'm going too.
Yeah,
So
I would too.
ticket. And then my son started dating a gal, great young lady. And he's like, hey, she's never been to a hockey game. Can she come too? So we're taking the family, apparently.
There you go.
That's awesome, man. That's
Yeah, so-
honestly,
That sounds
that's a
great.
great trip.
Super excited about the Kraken, and they, if they can hold a third period lead, they'd be actually pretty good this year.
Hey, I know what that means.
I can't wait to get into hockey. I don't really get into hockey until
January.
no, like I don't know. It's hard because I do want to watch hockey every night, but honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. In the past couple of years, because I've been so busy with life, I only watch the 10-pack games. Like I only go to the games. That's
Right.
it.
Okay.
In the 10 games, and of course I'll buy a couple here or there, whatever. But I don't really sit down and watch them on TV as much as I should. But I really am going to this year. I'm going to try. I haven't watched any games yet this year, but Stammer's on fire and he's about to win the MVP. Don't jinx it. It's only October. But hey, I'm super excited for this season. I'm glad we have a good hockey our friend over here. Josh has nothing to do with hockey. Just
Yeah.
like I have nothing to do with baseball.
That's okay.
Yeah.
It's all good.
But pivoting back to baseball, as Kimmel just took it off the rails. What do you think? So if the Phillies win, what do you think happened for the Phillies to win?
What would need to happen for the Phillies?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
For
appreciate
the Phillies
that.
to win, hopefully somebody in that front office has watched Justin Verlander's last 2 games against the Mariners. And I don't
Okay.
say that being a home-based, that's my team. I'm saying that
Yeah.
because he can't pitch against the Mariners. In the last 2 games, he's given up 10 runs in 5 innings.
Okay.
And I think offensively, Philadelphia, beyond just Verlander, they need to be aggressive. Look at that first pitch or second pitch, take it and go.
Yeah.
That's the only way you get to Houston pitching is on those first couple pitches. I say that because they are so good. And the longer they go, Alvarez, or the longer he goes, Alvarez gets stronger. Verlander gets stronger.
Yeah.
You jump on them quick, jump on them early, and you're going to be just fine. To shut down that offense, I don't know. You got to slow them down somehow.
You're not making me feel good here.
I just Seattle in the longest game of the season in the playoffs that Kimmel watched was probably that extra inning, 18-inning game.
It's forever.
That was well past my bedtime by the time. Actually,
Yeah.
no, it wasn't. It wasn't. But it took forever. I'm like, there's another game I want to watch, guys.
Yeah.
But I'm not leaving this game.
I was searching for the bleach. Promise. The game was forever. And not only did I have to deal with that, I had back to hockey, the Lightning Marathon 7 freaking over, whatever that was. So here, listen, I have been through a lot of these long games, but so I honestly can't comprehend what you're saying because you're naming all these players about Phillies and this person, this person. So you're saying for them to win, they need to get hot early. Don't sit there and let the pitchers get ahead in the count. Don't get 0-2. Don't get 1-2. Swing early. Be aggressive.
Yep.
Let them do their thing.
Absolutely. And I guess a big thing with any pitcher, don't throw it down the middle.
Well,
To not lose to Jordan, walk him. Don't let him beat you. I walk him. The other thing, pitching wise for Philadelphia, paint the corners. They're a really good fastball hitting team. And if they can paint the corners with some of their off-speed pitches, I think Philadelphia pitching will be just fine.
I
My
hope
last
so.
question, because I just have to know.
There we go. Hockey.
Nope, it's baseball. Do you bring a glove to the game or not?
Oh, heck yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. I don't even care what your you can be. Top row, nosebleed, right field, where nobody will ever hit the ball. You take your glove.
Damn right.
Unless you're Kyle Schwarber.
Okay, there are some exceptions.
But I think I know where you're going to go with this, but who do you have winning the World Series?
I hate to say it just because they're rivals. My heart is with Philadelphia, but I see this going 6 and going to Houston. Houston, unfortunately, I think wins it. They're in Philadelphia in Game 6. Because correct me if I'm wrong. Is it 2-2, 1-1-1?
No, I think it's 2-3-2.
I hate
Okay,
that.
so yeah, they'll win it in Houston in Game 6.
Okay. Just not in Philadelphia. So in order for Philadelphia to win, I think, you have to have they have to steal a game in the beginning, like they did against San Diego, and Philadelphia just has to sweep them at home, which I think is not as likely to happen, but it's hard to win in Philadelphia. It really is.
Oh,
Especially the offense is so much better at home than it is on the road. So if we can steal a game in Houston, I think Philadelphia goes home feeling really well.
the game to steal in Houston is going to be Game 1. And it's going to be if your hitters can jump on Verlander with that first pitch fastball. That's the only way you're going to win that Game 1. If you let him get deep, if you let him get to 0-2 or 1-2 counts, you're not going to succeed. If you let him get into the 6th or 7th inning, you're done because that bullpen is going to just shut it down. So I would agree you have to steal a game in Houston.
Yeah.
Have to, without a doubt.
Yeah.
The atmosphere in Philadelphia is insane. It really
It
is. Especially during the regular season, not so much, but during postseason play, it has been stupid crazy. And
It
it's
has
fun to
been.
see. It really is.
It
fun to
has.
see.
there's people on social media posting about living a mile away from the stadium, and they see nothing but, or hear nothing but the fans at the stadium
That's insane.
a mile away.
That is
So
insane.
it's a crazy atmosphere. Hopefully we can win. I told you I would have you on here for about 15 minutes. It's been almost a half hour,
It's all good.
but I appreciate you coming on
Absolutely.
so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having
Hey
me.
man,
gentlemen.
it's been fun. Nice meeting you. I know I've seen you on the network chatting here and there. Nice to meet you for the first time, and
Yeah.
you're welcome anytime.
I appreciate it, Josh. And Josh,
Yeah.
Josh Squared. Is that what you call yourself?
Yeah.
Josh Squared? All right.
Definitely.
Josh
Thanks,
1
Mike.
and Josh 1A. I'm Josh 1,
Yeah.
Josh 1A.
1A. I got it.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, thank you much. Have a great evening.
You
too.
as well.
Bye.
Thank you. Okay. So he
Crushed
had the
baseball
Phillies
talk.
not winning, which it breaks my
Crushed.
heart.
I crushed that
We did.
baseball talk. You kidding
You
me?
did. You did.
Oh, I forgot to ask him. Oh, I hope he's not a guy who says RBIs. It's RBI. Runs batted in, not runs batted ins. God, I forgot to ask him that question. He's shaking his head. I don't know what that means, but it's runs batted in. But let's get to some football talk because honestly, that's where I shine best. Because
Yeah.
football's awesome. I just can't.
You
I
think
can't
you
take-
shine best there.
I can't take the pansies with the you flipped the bat. No, we don't.
Did you bring something to drink first of all?
Yeah, I did. High noon. I've been drinking it nonstop. Listen, Josh. I went
Yeah.
on a bender this weekend. I had an Irish car bomb for the first time.
For the first time?
For the first time. I don't do shots.
Oh,
I'm
my-
adult.
Yeah, but you were 21 once before, right?
And I honestly didn't do that. So I went to the ale house, our little Brandon Ale House or Miller's Ale House. We watched the UFC fights in Saudi Arabia, and I got wasted. And eventually, I took this Irish car bomb. Then I played poker afterwards and kept on drinking. I puked for an hour, so that's the bender
Nice.
I had. I'm good. So I'm
Okay,
taking
that's
it light
that's
and
not a good bender. So
well, there's a
I-
lot more into it, jackass.
I might try to just do a pumpkin series these next couple
Oh.
weeks because
Okay.
I know how much you like it. This is Trogs Master of Pumpkins, 7.5%. It's a yeast, clove, ginger, cinnamon, nutmeg, as you would think a pumpkin beer would be. As you know, I'm a man of the people, so I like to let them hear
Yeah.
that.
No one wants to hear that pop in their ear. I promise you that, Josh. I promise you that. But as you pour your beer, I'm gonna let you know I'm not drinking any pumpkin beer today, literally, or all season. No pumpkin beer. Are you drinking out of a chalice?
It's a horn. I'm a man. It's a horn.
Oh my God! I didn't watch Ted Lasso this week. I was gonna watch an episode. Life got out of hand. I had the bender this weekend. I drank from
Ted
fucking-
Lasso is
I know. I'm
Amazing.
gonna watch after this podcast. I'm gonna watch an episode. I promise. But I was drinking from like 1 p.m. on a Saturday to Sunday at 11 o'clock. I didn't even get to my Sunday bender. I didn't want to tell you how disgusting I got. Didn't want to do it. I ate a whole full bag of the Skittles that Ziploc on top.
yeah. Of course I do. What are you talking about?
I ate the whole thing before.
Is
the
that an
4 o'clock
actual
game.
question?
I ate a whole thing before the 4 o'clock games. That's
Okay.
how. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I don't do that. And then to top it off, I had some gummy bears. Listen, sugar, alcohol. That was my diet this weekend. I kind of gotta chill out on that. But
Yeah, sugar is like an everyday part of my diet, so we'll go there. But anyway, we have
dun 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 dun. Sorry, it's one. Look, I take my victories one at a time, small as they may be.
so football happened. I don't know if you're aware of that. There's a lot of moves that have happened. I want to talk about the one that I care about most.
Oh, okay.
The Cowboys traded for Jonathan Hankins today. I believe they traded a 6th-round pick and then got a 7th round back along with Jonathan Hankins. That's probably one of the biggest positions they needed to fill on the defensive line. So they got another big body there, which I'm excited to see. Do you have any opinions on that, or are we
Roll
going to keep it
Tide.
trucking? There we go. Oh, don't say that. That's an awful thing to say. So, last night we had a game. Patriots,
Oh, yeah.
Bears, yeah. We could call it a game.
That was the
Do you
most
think-
fun time I ever had watching a football game, by the way. And I'm not
Really?
even kidding. It was the most. I laughed nonstop. First off, I know you want to get into your serious conversation, but I laughed because I laughed because the guest list was fire for the Manning cast. Obama, then you had Bill Burr, then you had Vince Vaughn. Obama was probably the funniest out of all of them.
Yeah, he's a funny dude.
He is funny. The Patriots got blown out on national TV. Good. You Patriots. And second off, or third
Beer's
off.
good.
Beer's good. Good. What else did I like? Oh, I won like 3 fantasy leagues and I didn't know until the next day. Let's go.
And you lost all 22. Let's go.
My first loss in all 22. 6-1. No big deal. Haven't checked it since draft day. No big deal.
Yeah, I haven't checked it in 3 weeks, and I'm like, I've won the last 3 weeks.
So let's
But-
get to your serious conversation.
It's not a serious conversation. I know what you're going to say, but do we have a QB controversy in New England?
Of course we do. Of course we do.
How would you go about this QB controversy? So Bailey Zappi, Mac Jones. How would you go about it?
Well, here's what I have thought. I thought Mac Jones should get the job back as soon as he comes back from injury. Was he
Yeah.
ready? Was he ready for football? I don't know if he was ready or not. Did they rush him back? I don't know. I do think that you play the hot hand here, as in you didn't really invest much in Mac Jones. Yeah, he was a first round pick, but you didn't trade up for him. He kind of fell in your lap. He was just
Yeah.
there. He was just like kind of like a gift. Like, oh yeah, we'll just take him. So it's not like you have. Yes, you do have good draft capital in him, and yes, he's a first round pick. But like I said, you didn't trade up for him like a Trey Lance, or you didn't trade up for him like of these other quarterbacks. So therefore, you're okay with moving on to the hot hand. And Bailey Zappi looked like he was the hot hand for like the first couple drives, and then it kind of buzzed off. So
Yeah.
I think they just have to work things out. One quote I always heard from somebody, I forgot who: if you have 2 quarterbacks in your room that can start on Sunday, you don't really have a quarterback. You have 0 quarterbacks. So I
That's
don't
just
think
a
the
base quote.
Well, I heard it from somewhere. I don't know where I heard it from. Jackass. So I think that the answer isn't Mac Jones and the answer isn't Zappy. It's the next guy. That's what I think.
Okay. I'm going to be the one that thinks correctly here, and you stick with Mac Jones. What is a quarterback's best friend?
His best friend?
Yeah. It's a run game.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
As long as you have a run game, a quarterback can play fairly well. You can do off the play action. Where was the run game at Sunday night? Monday night?
Ramondre won me a couple fantasy leagues, so I don't know. I honestly don't know. I was too busy laughing with the guys.
They were getting stuffed.
Yeah, they were.
So they didn't have a run game. And then Mac Jones was trying to play off of a play action, which no one's faking on that. And then I will give credit to the Bears defense. They made some really good plays to get those picks. Brisker, did you see that play?
Yeah, of course I saw the play.
One-handed that ball?
Yeah, it was insane. So the thing was, when I saw that weather, when it first came on, when Troy Aikman and
Yep.
Joe Buck introduced me to the game, I don't really look at weather reports Monday night. I barely even watched the countdown. I'm like, holy shit, Bears are going to win this game. That's what I thought, straight from the top. I'm like, they're going to run it down their throat. Justin Fields is going to make a couple plays, and that defense is too good. They're going to make Mac Jones uncomfortable. I knew Bailey Zappi was going to play, but I didn't think he was going to play that early into the game. I just don't think I don't think Mac Jones is a great quarterback. Even before the injury, he was very bad this season. Very bad. Almost as bad as Justin Fields was earlier in the season. Zappy is kind of a flash in the pan. People kind of figured him out. A lot of noise on Twitter as we just saw him win the job on national TV. Well, if you look at his stats, he went 14 for 20, 28 with 185 yards, two interceptions. That's not winning a job. That's
Yeah.
people reacting on Twitter after the first play, which was ridiculous. There's a lot of problems in New England, and it's more than just the quarterback. It's more than that. They don't have any weapons.
Oh, yeah.
They do have a good run game. Damian Harris is usually really, really good, but he has that hamstring problem. And that defense just isn't. Come on, Justin Fields. That's probably the most points he'll ever score in his life, like in the National Football League. So I forgot Obama. Obama's like, is this the first time they've ever scored 13 points in the first half? Like, even Obama's cracking jokes. So, like, So when you allow a team like the Bears who score nothing blow you out like that, it's kind of a whole team situation, not just a quarterback situation.
Yeah, I agree, and I would say I would stick to Mac Jones. But another scenario for you, which you brought it to my attention, which I kind of like. Would you trade Tom Brady to the New England Patriots for Mac Jones?
Okay, I proposed this last night on Twitter. Got no reaction. Surprise. Um, if you're Tampa Bay, that's what I put it as. If you're
Yeah.
Tampa Bay, would you ship Brady back to New England and take Mac Jones? As in, the Buccaneers aren't going anywhere this year. Tom Brady doesn't even want to be there. The offensive line is in shambles. The Bucs are done. Where you have the Patriots, where they have some light. If they get Brady back with Belichick, there could be some magic there. Would you do it? If I'm the Bucs, I do it. I do it 1,000%. I get rid of Brady because we all know, they know, and he knows he doesn't want to be here in Tampa. You look at the Patriots and go, wow, this could actually be this could be a spark we need. Bring Brady in there. They're a different team. Brady takes a mediocre team and makes them above average. He can overcome all these odds. So if I'm Tampa, I do it. If I'm the Patriots, I don't do it. I stick with my young guys. No, I don't. If I'm the Patriots, I don't do it. Fuck you, Brady. You left us. Just because your wife left you, just because you have no family, don't come crawling back to the old faithful. You made your bed, go lie in it.
Do you think New England is done? Do you think their season's over?
I mean, they're going to compete. I don't put stock into one game. I don't do that. I don't overreact. Yeah. Usually, they're not done, but they're not a playoff team, and they're gonna, like I said, they're gonna compete. But Buffalo's gonna blow them out. Miami's gonna beat them again. The Jets are gonna beat them. Like they're just gonna be they'll get the 16th pick in the draft. Or no, that's too high. They'll probably get like the 10th.
You're saying New England or Tampa?
New England. Tampa's gonna win that division, unfortunately, because there's no one else there. Like you have Andy Dalton and you have PJ Walker and you have Marcus Mariota as your other competition. So the Bucs.
So at that point, you don't make that trade. If you're not in playoff contention, you don't think you're going to be in the playoff contention. You don't make that trade.
No, that's what I'm saying. But the Patriots, I don't do it. The Bucs, I do.
Yeah, but if you are the Patriots and you think you have a shot for the playoffs, you can maybe sneak in with a wild card. You don't have any faith in Mac Jones at this point. Oh, yeah. I think you make that trade. But with that said, do you think the Buccaneers are done?
No, unfortunately, because like I just said, they have the Saints, Falcons, and Panthers in that division. Yeah.
But no one wants to win.
Well, no, but there has to be a winner of that division, unfortunately. And eventually, let's just see what happens. There's a lot of talk of Byron Leftwich being let go. That offense is stale. Yeah. Maybe they need a little fire under them. Bruce Arians isn't coming back. That's not happening. Tom Brady and Bruce, they will not be in the same. They just can't do it together. They don't want to be in the same room together. That's Tom Brady problem. He's a cancer. They're not done though. They'll find a way to win. The defense is too good. They have too many good pieces on that defense to just not make the playoffs. Will they lose in the first round? Depends on who they play. I would love to see them. I would love the tables to be turned and Philadelphia's at home and the Bucs go to Philly and then Philly blows them out. That would be fucking awesome. And if you guys are watching, yes, I'm a Lightning fan. Yes, I love the Rays. I hate the Bucs and I hate Tom Brady. I'm a Dolphins fan. So I honestly hope they do make the playoffs and get embarrassed on national TV and lose to Philadelphia in Philly. That'd be awesome.
So with that being said, Tampa Bay played Carolina, divisional game. Carolina looked really good against them. We all know that Matt Rule was fired and still Steve Wilkes is the interim head coach.
Yep.
Why do you think Carolina came out so hot?
Did Carolina come out so hot or did Tampa come out so flat?
I don't know. If you watch that game, Carolina was running down people's throats and making timely passes. And we got to see Tommy Tremble score a touchdown, which I don't think you've seen. Yeah, right? I think, and this is my belief in this, is Steve Wilkes should have never got fired in Arizona. I think he's a really good coach, and he deserves to be a head coach in this league. He was dealt a bad hand just the same way that Josh Rosen was dealt a bad hand. and I think
Josh
he's
Rosen
just a good
wasn't-
coach.
Josh
He
Rosen
was dealt a
did
bad
not get
hand.
He got all the opportunity in the world. He just didn't want to succeed.
Oh,
He thought
hey,
he was
let's
better and smarter than everyone else.
trade Josh Rosen away after we just drafted him so we can pick another guy. Yeah, he's dealt a bad hand.
Let me
But-
ask you a question. If you have a girlfriend that's new and you're like, oh, she is awesome. She's hot. She's a 10. And then you have her for about 6 months and she thinks she knows
Yeah.
everything and she's not going to listen and she's not going to change. She's not going to make you happy. She's not going to do anything to help you, or you guys aren't this. You guys are more of like this. That's what Josh Rosen was. He didn't want to learn. He thought he was smarter than everyone else. Fuck that guy. Get that guy out of your locker room. I'm okay with that.
I get that part. I get
like-
that. But talent-wise, he was dealt a bad hand to be productive talently.
I can see that, but when he played football for the Cardinals in his rookie season,
He played well.
No, he did not, man.
He
did not
did
have
play
a good
well.
He did not have a good game whatsoever. Not
He
one.
was actually moving the ball compared to who was it?
Let's go.
that was
let's
on
go
the
to
team
tape.
prior.
Let's go to the tape.
He was actually moving the ball.
Next show, we're
he was-
breaking down
he was
Josh
a little-
Rosen's game by game.
He was a
next
spark
week.
plug in that offense. But anyway, Steve Wilk as well got dealt a bad hand. He got fired the next year. It was just a bad Arizona team in general. I think he was just a place card there to get to the next guy. But I think Steve Wilkes is ready to be a head coach. And I think we saw that last Sunday when they came out firing. The offense looked amazing. I think they're good. And I think we could see them actually win the division this year if they continue to play like they did. PJ Walker looked great. That run game, Chuba Hubbard looked fantastic. So
let me tell you something about Sunday night. When did CMC get traded?
I want to say like Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe.
It was Thursday night football because Al Michaels is like, Christian McCaffrey, you just got traded.
Okay.
I ran to all 27 of my fantasy leagues, and I was 1 minute away from Deontay Foreman. I had to get stuck with Chuba Hubbard. I'm pretty happy I got stuck with Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah.
Chuba Hubbard, because I wanted Foreman. I thought, well, they were both kicked ass. I think Carolina's going to be with that kind of team where they just don't give up, and they're going to be in games, and they're going to do what they got to do to win. Even if that's PJ Walker, they even said if Sam Darnold's healthy, they're not going to start him. They're going to start PJ Walker. My problem is, which if you've watched me or followed me or whatever for the past 3 years, I hate Baker Mayfield. And if he's in that locker room and healthy and ready to play, he will be an issue and he will cause the downfall of that team. The team already sucks enough. Now you add the cancer of Baker Mayfield and his mediocrity. That's going to be a problem. I think they just need to say, Baker, you're done for the season. We're going to roll with PJ Walker and see what we got.
I agree with that. And I think getting rid of Matt Rule, I remember watching Matt Rule's press conference when he got the job. And I watched that thing and I was like, who is this guy? Like, you can't walk into an NFL locker room acting like a college coach. Like, these guys aren't getting a paycheck and you're going to be this rah-rah guy. Like, no, that's not how it works. Like, there's a difference between Dan Campbell and how Matt Rule. Yeah, there is. Oh, there's 100% a difference.
This isn't in our lineup.
You want to know the difference? You want to know the difference?
What's the difference?
Dan Campbell was an NFL player.
Okay.
Matt
All right.
Rule was not.
That's the difference. But I did say it on this podcast and every single outlet I had that Detroit was going to suck. They were going to be the most penalized team in football, which I don't know if they are. I doubt they are. But they've made mistakes after mistakes after mistakes. And this is a tangent on that, but this is Josh was right on Dan Campbell and the Lions. They're not good. Let's all chill out. But back to the Panthers. They have a legitimate shot to win this division. They already have a game.
They do.
They already beat the Bucs, so that's a half a game I count as a tiebreaker. I don't know if they're going to win again or if they've already played. The Saints suck. The Falcons suck.
Yeah.
Besides the Buccaneers, I really think the Panthers are the only team that can win that division. I don't think they will.
And the way they came out against the Buccaneers, they looked good. They looked really good. They were constantly moving the ball in that run game. If they can continue to have the run game that they had, they can go and win this division easily.
No, I definitely agree with you. Do you want to move on to our next topic?
Yeah, well, first, what do you think about this Christian McCaffrey trade? We never got overall thoughts on it.
I can't get to our thing because my phone's unavailable. Yeah, Christian McCaffrey. I love it. I love it. I think Christian McCaffrey is going to ball out in San Francisco, and I think
Oh, you do?
I really do, and I do think, but I do think Carolina got what he's worth: a second, third, fourth. Was it a fifth as well, or was it a fifth in the 2024?
So it's a second, third, and fourth in 2023, and a fifth in 2024.
That's what it is.
But here's the thing: people are saying the running back position is valueless, and we've seen 2 running backs get traded this season: James Robinson, Christian McCaffrey.
Running backs this week. Running backs aren't valueless.
Yeah.
They are replaceable. We just saw. I mean, Chuba and Deontay did more than CMC did all season.
Well, and I, as a college coach, do you think Matt Rule put too much of an emphasis on star players rather than a team effort?
I do believe that. But I think this.
So getting rid of that star player allowed for this team to we have to pick up for him, but we're a team now. We're all going to fill in for him rather than
subtraction
like Chris McCaffrey.
or addition by subtraction.
Yeah.
Whereas where they all feel like they need to step up, next man up. But on the flip side, when he goes to San Francisco, CMC, he's going to have a bigger impact there than you ever had in Carolina because they're a winning football team.
Did you watch his first couple of runs?
Honestly, by that time, everything was a blur.
Oh, he was gashing them, like straight up 8-10 yards to carry.
Yeah,
and he looked good.
My question is, for fantasy, how does this affect Debo? How does this affect Kittle? Kittle went off that day, but it was National Tight End Day. How does this affect Ayuk? I think it opens everyone up. I really do. I think it opens everyone up.
Oh yeah, it opens the entire offense up.
My question is, when Lance comes
I think Ayuk's hurt.
When Lance comes back, he is. Damn it. Good.
No, I'm not saying. I think he's hurt by Jimmy G being the quarterback until Trey Lance comes back. Like you're saying, I don't like Ayuk.
Except for when he plays me in fantasy because he scores touchdowns and beats me.
Yeah.
Like last week. But what happens when it's Lance and what happens when it's CMC? That's going to be insane. I'm just excited for the future, especially for fantasy purposes and dynasty leagues. This is a buy CMC moment because I think he's going to be the best.
So buy Trey Lance moment.
Well, that too. It's never not buy Trey Lance season in fantasy football dynasty. But for CMC, he was a sell in dynasty. Overnight, he became the most valuable piece in dynasty leagues. Overnight, he was a sell, and just like that. Bye.
Other than the fact that 49ers offense is a running back waiting to get hurt to an already injury-prone running back. But I digress. But I do think it's a Trey Lance buy because running back is a very good safety valve for a quarterback, and Christian McCaffrey is one of the best safety valves out there. They got the best tight end to be a safety valve. So offense is made perfectly for a young quarterback. But we talked about this. The offense is it's going to explode. I think right now after that trade, if they can stay healthy, if the defense can play a little better because the defense fell apart last week, I think you're going to see this is the best team in the NFL. Or not in the NFL, in the NFC. NFC. And I said Dallas was the best team last week. Those two are competing right now.
I think that you take Dallas and then you take San Francisco. You match them up. 49ers can score points. Dallas is struggling right now. They're struggling to score points. Dak's first game back. Zeke looked good. Pollard looked amazing. They need to really use them in a way like they did on Sunday. And I'm sorry, but CeeDee Lamb, he's a great guy, great talent, but don't make him the focal point. Make it Zeke, Pollard, check it down to Schultz, give Noah Brown some catches. Like, that's what you need to do. You don't need to have this don't throw the ball 50 times. You can't do it, Dallas. You shouldn't do it. So when you play someone like San Francisco, you can hold Jimmy G. Jimmy G is a average quarterback at best. You get pressure on him, he's going down, and they can do that. So I do believe this might be the NFC title game. I do believe that. And if it happens, I think Dallas will win, and Dallas will go to the Super Bowl. I know this is so far down the road. But what I'm saying is, like, I think Dallas is a better team. I know you're putting San Francisco as the number one team right now, but they just
Yeah.
got blown out by Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, which is understandable. They got blown out, though. They didn't even look like they belonged on the same field. I don't think Dallas's defense is getting blown out by Kansas City. I don't think so.
I could agree with that. And a lot of people said that the 49ers had the best defense in the league. And I don't agree with that. They have a lot they have to figure out right now.
Dallas has the best defense in the league. Let's
Yeah.
not stop.
They lost Jordan Lewis, which they just signed someone to take over for Jordan Lewis. Next man up mentality, who was our other corner. But I think Dallas, now with the addition of Jonathan Hankins to help stop the run, which we talked last week, that's Dallas's biggest issue. They need to figure out a way to stop the run. And I think they're trying to do that right now. But anyway, 49ers, Kansas City Chiefs. Do we underrate, because does he have a defense? I don't think the Kansas City defense is good at all. Like, they're awful. Can you agree?
They're awful, but here's the thing. In the preseason, in our shows, you can go back and listen, people. I said Mahomes will be the MVP. I said that. I said he was going to be. I said they were going to win the division. I'm pretty sure I picked him to go to the Super Bowl or the Bills. Well, either way, those would be the two final teams. Mahomes doesn't need a defense. The problem is, the problem is the offense of the other team gets so tight because they're so pressured to keep up with Mahomes. They will fail. They will beat themselves. They will pressure themselves too much to keep up with Mahomes. And Mahomes is doing this with nobody. Juju, MVS, Sky Moore fumbling all over the place. What a bust he is. And Kelsey, of course. Kelsey's awesome. So what happens, you take someone like Jimmy G who goes, oh shit, we need to score. Oh shit, I can't score. And that's what happens. It's not their defense. It's just the pressure of the offense. And they can't keep up with Mahomes.
So my question to you was going to be, did we undervalue, and you can say you didn't, Mahomes' experience at Texas Tech with no defense. He had no defense in Texas Tech. He was just had to throw touchdowns to win games every single game. Do we think that prepared him for this season, knowing he didn't have a defense? And he's like, I've been here before. I don't care.
I don't know about that, but you can spin that narrative. I just think that Mahomes, when he has the football in his hands and he's in control of the huddle, his mentality is, I'm going to score a touchdown. I'm not settling for field goals. Yes, they will. But his mentality is, no matter what the score is, no matter what the situation is, I'm taking my team down and we're scoring points because that's my fucking job. Whereas, and he doesn't care about, he cares about the defense. What I mean is, he's doing his job and he knows if he does his job well, they will score 35 points and win the football game. I think that's what his mentality is. I don't know if Texas Tech did it for him. I don't know if college prepared it for him. I just think he has one of the best coaches in the league, and he's the best quarterback in the league, and he just knows my job. Peyton Manning, he never had a great defense. His job every single play was, I'm scoring a touchdown. That's what Peyton Manning did. The Colts defenses weren't great until Tony Dungy came along.
Yeah.
So
they still weren't great.
Exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying. They still weren't great, but at least they were stopping people. Like at least they weren't winning games 51 to whatever it was, like that freaking crazy. Anyway, that's what the difference is. Mahomes has a killer mentality. He's got that killer. Like he's got that Tom Brady killer instinct in him that that some quarterbacks lack. Kyler lacks it. You know, Jimmy G lacks it. There's a lot of Herbert. I believe Herbert lacks that killer mentality. He has the talent. Yeah. He doesn't have that Mamba mentality like someone like Mahomes or Brady has.
I like that. So we said we want to do this every week. I'm going to stick to that. Hopefully I remember next week. Who is your MVP right now?
Mahomes.
I
it will
agree
never
with that.
not be Mahomes. But I will.
So let's go with, and I'm going to let you go because I didn't even think about this. Offensive player of the year.
See, that's a little bit tougher because there's some guys that are under the radar. We don't like to give MVP. I don't like to give MVP and offensive player of the year the same thing. So to me, there's three guys in line, and you may agree. I don't know their stats. I just go by what I see on the film, what I see on TV. I got Nick Chubb. That dude's balling right now. That dude's unstoppable right now. So I got Nick Chubb, I got Justin Jefferson, and I got Cooper Kupp. Those are my 3 guys.
Yeah.
And you can't leave out Tyreek Hill. You can't do it. You just can't. The guy is unstoppable. He had a bad game on Sunday night, dropping balls left and right. Him and Tua didn't have the connection. But before that, you can argue he was the best receiver in the game. You can argue that. But honestly, I would vote for either Chubb, Kupp, or Jefferson.
I think you're leaving someone off that list,
Probably.
and that would be Travis Kelce.
Yeah, he was on. Dude, I thought about him. I really did. I did. He's in my short list. He's definitely in my top 5.
So
But I can't do it.
you're saying Jamar Chase is one of them.
The other guy?
Jamar Chase has 47 receptions.
Mm-hmm.
Travis Kelce has 47 receptions. Travis Kelce has 60 targets to where Jamar Chase has 74 targets.
Mm-hmm.
Jamar Chase has 605 yards. Travis Kelce has 553 yards. Kelce has 7 touchdowns. Jamar Chase has 6.
Yeah, Kelsey's amazing. You definitely
Yeah,
get it.
so I think Kelce is up there, but I think you have to give it to Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is just unreal right now.
Were you surprised that I said Nick Chubb?
No, I mean, how can you not when he has 740 yards, 8 touchdowns?
He will not be stopped this season. He will not
No.
be stopped.
And you know why that is, right?
I don't know why. Someone explain it to me like I'm 5 because he was dropping in all fantasy leagues and I don't get
He
it.
went to Georgia.
Okay. Josh Jacobs.
That's why.
He's another one on that because he could be named on this list. He could be named comeback player of the year. Not that he came back from anything, but the guy was pretty much dead and buried.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden he's crazy good.
So, spinning that around, who would you put as defensive player of the year?
Dude, that's so hard for me to say because, like I said, I'm a fantasy guy and I really focus on the offense. But if
Yeah.
I had to pick one guy, I'd still go Micah Parsons. I know I'm maybe biased because that was my preseason pick. My preseason picks were Mahomes and Micah Parsons, and they still, week 8, stand as Mahomes and Micah Parsons. What about you?
I would have to agree. Micah Parsons is just unreal. You have to account for him every time he is on the field. And if you have to do that, then I think he's the winner.
Yep, he is. I crushed those preseason. Who did I pick for my division winners? I got to go back and listen. I am crushing it in real life football, sucking fantasy. Who would have thought?
Do you want to do the rookies or?
No,
Yeah,
no.
I agree with
don't.
that.
I want to watch Ted Lasso. I'm excited.
I'm trying to figure out real quick who's leading the league in sacks right now.
Sacks? I could not tell you that. I know Aiden
it
Hutchinson.
is Matthew Judon.
Okay, Judon.
8.5 sacks. Nick Bosa and Micah Parsons both have 7.
Parsons is so dynamic. He's so dynamic. If he doesn't win Defensive Player of the Year this year, something has to be wrong. Like he has to get hurt, or someone has to just break the sack record. Like that's the only
Yeah.
way he doesn't win it. I mean, I just don't get it. But
Yeah, I agree. So, again, Mugs and Balls on all platforms: Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. We are the Beer and Sports Podcast. Josh Kimmel OUS, Josh Wingate 302. What are you leaving us out on?
listen, I have nothing nice to say, so I'm just not going to say anything at all.